Hello, and a very good morning to all of you. Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I have just finished a really good virtual session with around 35 managers, frontline managers. And yes, they are in a position of some authority because they do have direct reports. But it brought us to a very important topic, and that is, how do you influence whether in fact you are in a position or not? So this is for anybody who feels perhaps that they would like to be more influential in their careers, in their lives, and it's just difficult. So we start with this concept. So wherever you are and wherever you're joining me from, and as I just told you, I was just inspired by my morning's virtual session with this group of individuals who had between them so many years of experience. We had people who had been managing for a year or 2 years, and some people who had been managing for 4 decades. So I got to learn as much from them as hopefully they learned from me. But to begin as an influencer, it begins with perception of self. So let's begin with this. Are you a proactive influencer, or are you a reactive responder? And what does that mean? That means, is my mindset that of somebody who is constantly dealing with a barrage of external factors, whether it's political, whether it's economic, whatever I'm dealing with, I see these things as insurmountable. They are impacting me. Or do I say, yes, there are certain things over which I have no control, but what do I have control over? So that's where we begin the mindset of an influencer. There's certain things I have control over, and I'm going to be proactive. Or am I simply a reactive responder? Whatever's going on around me, I just react to. So that's step number one, is mindset. So if you want to influence with or without authority, ask yourself that question. And then say, what do I have control over? So I have control over how I want to show up. So I begin the process by saying, give me 5 adjectives, 5 characteristics that you would like to have associated with you, whether you are in a position of power or not. So some of the adjectives that come up in my classes, in my sessions, in my keynotes are, I want to be seen as a thought leader. I want to be seen as having initiative. I want to be seen as having leadership capabilities. So my next question to you is, if I want to be seen as having that, what am I doing to reinforce that? What experiences am I providing? So I don't have to be in a leadership position to be in a meeting and ask intelligent questions. I don't have to be in a leadership position to reinforce others. By doing that, I'm demonstrating my strengths and capabilities. I don't have to be in a leadership position to network and build meaningful relationships. I don't have to be in a leadership position to be on the board of business resource groups. I can be in a job and be in a business resource group where by doing that, I increase my level of influence and my visibility. So when you think about the concept of influencing without authority, and I like to say with or without authority, it's the ability to do 2 things, to influence the trajectory of your own career and then influence others' perception of you based on the experiences you provide. But like everything else, it all begins with mindset. And one of the ways that you can influence without authority is to present information in a very effective way. So when you stand up and present information, either in a presentation or even speak up in a meeting, are you doing it well? So I thought this would be a good time to share my What is a Hook video. And it's one way that you can present information in a compelling way, whether in fact you are in a position of power or not.
So what is a hook? A hook is the beginning of your presentation. It's that first couple of minutes. It's the prime real estate. It's in that first couple of minutes that all your audience decides, is this person worth paying attention to, or should I mentally zone out? So whether you are giving a presentation in person or virtually, please remember that there's certain ways that you can immediately grab your audience's attention. You can ask them a question, a statement, a fact. You can tell a story that links into your subject matter, or you can go situation, complication, question, or message. So if we're talking to an audience about working from home and why working from home should be something that we continue to do, I might start off with a story of an employee who we wouldn't otherwise have attracted if they weren't allowed to work from home. Or I could tell you statistically or factually the amount of individuals who would prefer to work from home. Or I might break it into situation, complication, question, message, which is the situation we're in is that the world has changed and people have enjoyed working from home. The complication is we are now forcing people to go back into the workplace. The question is, what can we do to bridge that gap? Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. So please think about how you are going to start a presentation and do it in a way that poses a question and says that your presentation is going to answer that question. I'm Nadia Bilchik, and for more tips and techniques on virtual or in-person presentations, please go onto my website, nadiaspeaks.com.
So that was just one of the ways. So in my classes, workshops, and keynotes around influence, we speak about how you present yourself. What do I have control over? And by the way, if you're just joining us, I'm Nadia Bilchik. I've been speaking about how to influence with or without authority. And I mentioned it all begins with seeing yourself as a proactive influencer, meaning what can I control? The way you show up physically, you can control, and then your ability to build relationships. So we really look at all of those factors. So for today being all of, yes, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday and it is the 28th of November. I know, hard to believe. But really ask yourself a question. Are there things you could be doing, irrespective of your job position, your job title, things that you could be doing to give yourself more leverage, to give yourself more influence? And please, if you're interested in hearing more, my website is nadiaspeaks.com. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and really on just giving you advice and guidance on how we can navigate this volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world, which it is, by being a proactive influencer rather than a reactive responder. Wishing you a wonderful